I love using Chart Prime, but they have something that is new. It's fresh, it's hot, and you guys have got to check this out.
Get full access to every single one of our custom-made influencer indicators. Receive ongoing exclusive Plus member indicators, access Plus member-only classes, and much, much more with the Chart Prime Plus package. Let's take a sneak peek at some of the features offered exclusively to Plus members.
The Quantum Reactor provides users with invaluable insights on market direction and can even detect fake dumps and fake pumps. Not all market moves carry the same weight. Some are just simply false moves. This is where the Quantum Reactor shines by being able to verify the legitimacy of any given trend. I'll explain more on this in a little bit. The Quantum Reactor provides a very strong area of support and resistance. Respectively, when price manages to break underneath the reactor, this typically indicates the markets have turned bearish. And conversely, if price breaks above the reactor, it signifies markets are bullish. However, as I mentioned earlier, some of these market moves may be misleading and are only quick corrections before resuming the true underlying trend. This is where the Quantum Reactor works its magic. For example, here the reactor did not turn red even after the price corrected and dumped beneath it. As you can see, not too long after, the price turned right around again. However, this dump here did turn red, and as you can clearly see, this was not just a short correction, it was a major trend reversal. Here's an example of our new oscillator on Tesla stock. As you can see, there is a strong downtrend. However, we see the money flow and volume wave trending up, creating a divergence with the price, and you can also see the volume gradient is becoming more predominantly green while trending up and setting higher highs. Not only that, we also see the ranking line maxed out at -70, simultaneously with oversold signals appearing and a reversal triangle to top it off. Now, if I play this out, you can clearly see where the turning point was in this market trend.
There's a whole lot of powerful stuff coming out on Chart Prime with Chart Prime Plus. Guys, if you're already a member, go log in today and check it out. Get upgraded to the new powerful Plus oscillator and all of the features that come with it. Plus, if you're not a Chart Prime member, check out the link below. Get 45% off, guys. It is the biggest discount in the market for the most powerful tools on the market.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Yo, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. This is the show that you guys come to every morning on Piper Academy to get the market, the economy, and everything else, and see what's going on with Bitcoin. Like right now, Bitcoin sitting at 53.7% dominance. Fear and greed, we're going to be looking at that. And then we got Jackson Hole this week, Jerome Powell. He's going to be breaking down some info over there that everybody's going to be watching to see if we're going up, if we're going down. Stick around, guys. We're going to jump into all of it today on the Morning Market Report. Let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Hope that everyone had a great weekend. I did. I was celebrating my son's birthday with him yesterday. He turned 25, and it's a day. It's one of those benchmarks, right? I'm a quarter of a century old at that point, right? And then you also you get your lower insurance, but insurance being one of the big inflation pieces, I'm not sure how much of a discount he's going to get on that. He may get robbed of that. I told him, I said, 50 is the next benchmark that you have. You get to join AARP. So there you go. That's all you have. But you know what? Who gets to join me? There's some benefits every day of being on this show because I don't have to wait to join anybody. Every day, OC is here to join me, right next to me, here breaking down the markets and stuff. OC, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Not much. Just having a great day today. I mean, we have a fiesta right here on the server. It's been incredible, especially right here on the team server. You already have heard that it's been nonstop since 6 a.m. So everything just looking great. And also markets looking stable. I mean, Bitcoin looking great. Also, I'm already into a long back on Bitcoin because it broke my trend line. I didn't went long. I know that I was telling you guys that I was starting to look at some long positions after a break of trend line, but I waited for the retest. And just so you know, 4 hours from now, I did jump into a little position in there. It's not too big, it's not too leveraged, but we're start making some money. Hopefully, we can consolidate that into a breakout to the upside.
Absolutely. Yep, for sure. By the way, yesterday, Alex O sent a super chat over to my son so that he could go, because we did the podcast yesterday. If you guys missed it, you guys should go check it out. It's called Gen Wealth. And it's right here on YouTube, which we are going to be getting it published out to podcast sites. So it's going to be a weekly podcast that we're going to do about just basic straight from the headlines this week, topics of discussion, debates, and just that generational difference in perspective of how we look at the economy and finances. We're going to have everything from Gen Z to Gen X and millennial. And I don't know, maybe we'll find some boomer. There's got to be a boomer out there somewhere that knows how to log into YouTube. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so he got a super chat on that yesterday. And when he figured out that the Canadian dollar, because he sent 20 Canadian dollars, right? When he figured out how much less it was, he was like, that's not, I'm going to get like one drink. Because drinks are expensive at the bar. So, but no, it's good. We have everyone's asking about the thumbnail. Why am I thinking about selling my Ethereum? I'm not talking about selling all of my Ethereum. I'm going to talk about what's going on. There's some articles that give me a little pause for concern that I might want to protect a little bit of my Ethereum in other places. To be fully transparent with you guys, I have enough Ethereum to run a validator node, more than enough. So I could seriously sell off some of it to put into other assets just to hedge against the possible selling pressure that could come to Ethereum. So you guys remember that whole deflationary thing, right? Burning mechanism on Ethereum can get rid of it, blah, blah, blah. It's actually, there's a lot, like 60,000 new tokens over the weekend, I believe is what the article said. But we're going to take a look at it and we're going to break that down. That is what the whole idea was about. But if you guys are just joining us here, welcome to the Morning Market Report. OC and I are here every day. And a lot of times we have on people like FTY, TradeFly and stuff that come on here and bring you guys what they're looking at in the charts and the markets. But most days, it's right here. Cellcast by ETH. No, Retro Mike Tech. That is blasphemy. I can't even entertain that concept, man. Much love to you and the Wicks. Alexander G in the house. We got Buck in here. He said, good stuff, teaching your boys. So absolutely. BC Port Corp in here. Hey, I saw the Good Morning Crypto. Did you guys check that out this morning over on Lunar Beach's channel? They're doing a little test run over there this week to make sure that they get all the bugs ironed out before they move it over here to Piper Academy. But good show this morning with Lunar Beaches and Blackie Chan. That's BC Port Corp. They had the debut this morning of Good Morning Crypto. So Ihachi in the house. And then who else? I guess that's it. Let's go ahead and get into the data, OC, unless you got anything for the people or anything you saw there in the chat. If not, we're going to get into the news, break this down, and let's get into some charts. By the way, the ad that you guys saw at the beginning, we're going to have shorter ads. They're going to be like 30 seconds to a minute. They're going to be a mid-roll in the middle of the show coming up in the future, and we will not be doing any advertisement on YouTube while we're live. So ads will be turned off, monetization will be turned off, and we are allowing sponsors to pick up those mid-rolls, 30 seconds, not as long as that intro one today, but 30 seconds to a minute. That'll be a mid-roll, one ad every day. Sponsored by one of our sponsors, and no ads getting kicking you guys around while you're watching us live. So there you go. Bring on the ads. Indie Rock said. Yeah, so the ads from Google is what I'm talking about. Those are going to be turned off. Indie Rock Crypto. OC, what do you got for the people before we jump over to the news, man? You got anything? I know that you were talking about Friday where you wanted to get into some trades. Did you do any of that this weekend?
I did. Just Bitcoin, to be honest. I did not look at through anything else. It was a little bit of a agitated day or weekend because we had the release. So shout out to Alex Fernandez if he's here listening. He worked his he works his weekend off, right? Also, TSAC, shout out to the developers and also all the support team because
Yeah, it was
you guys
crazy.
are great. Yeah, nonstop,
Discord was
nonstop.
crazy.
So, and also shout out to the family here on the Piper Academy, Alexander G, John Foster. We also have Wick's wife. We also we Indie Rock, and also Amy Leaf Crypto. Among everybody else. So, guys, thanks so much for this.
Awesome.
And let's rock and roll. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's of course, right as you say that, all of my my stuff shuffles over here. So let me clear off this other screen and then we'll come back to it. I can't, it's like, I don't know why it does this. Ecamm will like shoot everything from one screen to the other, like it flashes for a second. And then all of a sudden, I've got all this stuff on my screen. And now it's cleared off. Let's get over to the news and let's talk about this, guys. Looking here at the Fear and Greed Index right now, currently sitting at 28. Let's give it a little refresh just to make sure that that's still accurate. I'm not sure if this changes. Yeah, 28, sitting right now in fear. We're looking here at the market dominance coming in at 53.8% right now for Bitcoin dominance and the total market cap at $2.15 trillion. Let's go ahead and jump into the crypto bubble, see how they're looking here on the daily. A lot of red on here. We do have some green, Trons, Ordi, Ton, Sui, XMR, Neo. So we got a couple of these that are sitting here. APT is up in the green. Shout out to Trade Intuition. He's been trading APT like a beast over in our Discord. If you're not in there, you need to go get into the Discord and check it out. He's been dropping some amazing APT Aptos trades in there. So shout out to him. Still the best buy sell indicator. You're right, Wick. Absolutely. He says the fear and greed is still the best buy sell indicator. Absolutely true. Let's jump into the liquidations for the past 24 hours here, guys. Looking at that, in the past 24 hours, 39,447 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $96.03 million. And then the largest single liquidation order for a single trade was Ethereum. There you go. And on Binance for $8.9 million in the past 24 hours, guys. So one single trade, almost $9 million there. Let's look at this. We're going to give a quick synopsis of this, and then I'm going to go over and pull up X because there's actually a really good breakdown going on over there for what's going on this week. But looking at here today, we got Fed Waller. He's going to be speaking. We got Fed Bostic, Bar, and then the API crude. So there's three right there just today and tomorrow in the next 24 hours ish of three Fed Reserve speakers, right? And then Wednesday, we're going to get into those FOMC minutes, and then they start that Jackson Hole Symposium, and that is going to be on Wednesday and on Thursday and on Friday. So we got 3 days of that going on. In the mix of all of that, Jerome Powell is going to be speaking, obviously, and then there's also initial jobless claims that will be coming in. Let's jump over to the X, see what it says over there, because there was some a good breakdown of all the week stuff coming up. You can see that. Get ready for another huge week ahead in the stock market. Here's a full catalyst to watch for what's going to happen here. Let's jump down there and open it up. So where are you? There we go. So on Monday, guys, Monday volatility watch, options trading volume is elevated with Sirius XM Holdings going on. Okay. Earnings watch, notable companies due to report. Palo Alto Network, that's PNW, Estee Lauder, and Fabrinet. So we got some earnings on Monday. What else do we have here going on? The 2-day Rosenblatt Technology Summit on AI is going to be going on. So this is going to affect things like RM Holdings, Sonos, TeraWulf, Qualcomm. So these companies could have some stuff that comes out from this AI. Of course, I also think that you'll see some moves from NVIDIA on that day. So I'll be watching for that one also. Tuesday, we got more earnings watches going on here. Big ones in this would be Cody, Lowe's, I guess. If you're looking at the housing market and how, are they upgrading these homes for selling, stuff like that, could see some stuff coming out of Lowe's. Might be one of those stocks to watch there. Let's see. What else do we got? Texas Instruments. Yep. Good. Federal Reserve Vice Chair for Supervisor Mike Barr will participate in a cybersecurity discussion. That's going to be taking place here on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we'll go ahead and we'll keep this up and we'll look at it for the next day for the rest of the week, guys. But we'll go ahead and get into Wednesday. That is going to be the minutes from the Federal Reserve meeting that happened last week. That's going to be released. And then also that is going to be the start day for the Jackson Hole Symposium. So I just wanted to bring that up there. Look here at a couple of news articles real fast, things that we're going to be diving into today. SPX, S&P 500, that's SPX, it's the futures for the S&P. They're up after risk on mode leads stocks to the best week of 2024. Guys, the pump's not over. I still think that, we have this normal August, September. We talked about it at the very, very beginning of August, and I think that that's where we're going to see the pullback for. But right now, stocks are continuing to do what stocks have been doing, and we know that that is a catalyst for risk on into crypto. Just let it take place. Just let it happen. Just let it happen, okay? We're also going to talk about price wobbling on Ethereum. As per the thumbnail today, inflation saw 210,000 tokens, Ethereum, added to the circulation because the burn mechanism is just so low right now. The volume's so low, the burn mechanism not getting rid of those tokens. And then a little bit of hopium here. At the end of all of this, that is going to be, will Ethereum reach over $3,000 in September? We're going to be taking a look at that. But right now, let's jump back over to the Duo Cam. That is your news for today, brought to you guys by Decrypted.tax. And we are going to jump into some charts. So, OC, fear and greed. Do you think the fear and greed is, you could just, never open a chart, just open up fear and greed, and every time it's in fear, that's your dollar cost average days. When it hits greed, just start selling off in percentages. Do you think that that would be a profitable way to get into crypto? Never even open a chart. Like, as a TA analyst, that scares me to do. I'm just going to buy or sell without ever looking at a chart. But what do you think? Is that a legitimate approach to buying and selling at least Bitcoin? What's your thoughts on that? And then, guys, let me know in the chat. What do you think? Can you just buy and sell DCA in, DCA out on fear and greed on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Or is there a better way? Maybe you wait for extreme fear and extreme greed. But OC, what's your thoughts on this?
I do think there's a better way. The better way is Chart Prime Plus. So there you go. But I just need to sneak it in there. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, and I might get burned in this one, but I will say yes. And also, I think you nailed it. I was about to say I would rather just wait for extreme fear and extreme greed. You should start making some interesting exits. But I do believe that it is. I mean, I've never tested this. So take this with research. This is just an educated wish, right? Just like Deadpool would say. But I would say that, yeah, it should be profitable. Once again, I haven't run the numbers, but I think it would be a profitable strategy, especially because that's basically how big whales operate, right? Market makers, they insert those patterns, they do manipulate markets, and they do change things, right, to make it look something. And then when they do create a snowball effect and they start looking for liquidity, and when that liquidity is basically getting exhausted, well, they put the reverse in, and then when you are selling, the market is just pumping, right? So how many times have that happened to you? If you would say many, well, then just remember that what would happen if you bought on fear and sold on greed. So I would say that, yeah, I guess it's a profitable strategy. But again, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it just solely like that.
Here's what I propose. I propose that going into the bear cycle and into the bull cycle of the next bull run. Okay, we start in the bear market, the next dip, right? The next major dip. So 2026 time period, 2027, right? No, sorry, 2025, 2026 time period there. We start buying on extreme fear. So I think we're back, OC. It looks like we are back, and I think we're in. So, yeah, I don't know what happened there, guys. Much apologies. I told you they're doing all kinds of construction back here behind my house, and it's been plain hell on my internet for a while. I need to get Starlink. That's what I need to do. But we're back. We're set up. We're live. Evidently, if you talk about if you talk about DCA and beating the system with the fear and greed, they will shut down your live stream. So
I'm picturing the FBI just knocking on your door, talk, talk, talk. FBI, open up.
Right? No kidding. Let's go ahead and get into that Bitcoin TA, and then let's jump over and start checking out those alts. Okay, guys, looking here at Bitcoin, let's jump into that chart. Well, thanks for sticking around. That we had a little moment of silence there, a lapse of systems. But Friday, guys, excuse me. Friday, we were on here. We were talking about this level here of the top of the range box here that we were looking at. This was the resistance right above the golden pocket. I said, look, if we can get up here and we can hold above this orange line, that is the 200-day right there. If we can get above that, then it would be a point. And this is Friday right here, Friday morning right here. We were getting above. I said, if we can close above it, we'll be looking good for the weekend. No, we went back down. What I was wanting to see was us get a support bounce off of this and head up to the upper resistance area over here. That is not what happened for us. Okay, so I was actually on Blockchain Basement talking to Drew, and he had his trade in, and I said, look, this is a key level of resistance. You might want to close that long out, because he had longed it all the way up from here and was in pretty good profit. So looking here, guys, we did pull down below it here. We did bounce back up, pretty much got a wick perfectly here on that 0.66. I'm watching now for us to head back down to the 618, coming in at 56,300. If we get down here and we can just trade in this range for a while, guys, I'll be fine with that. Why? Because eventually this 300 is going to come in, and it is angling more towards the upside. So watching that would give us this, squeeze eventually here on the 4-hour, where the 300 comes in, maybe down here towards the end of August, and that's where we catch the bounce to the upside for Bitcoin. I'm going to be watching that close. Okay, if we take a look, let me move over here and do one thing real fast. Get up there, sir. There you go. Right there. If we come over here, take a look at the oscillator. We do have a couple of things that I'm seeing on here right now that makes me think that we are going to be heading more for downside. One thing is the True 7 is down low, still coming down. It can come all the way down to the 70 line. That's when you get those True 7 bold markouts there, just like those right there. And those usually indicate, look, we're bottoming out. Bam, right there, bottomed out, right? So what I'm going to be watching is for us to come down and do that here on the current timeline, where we can get that to come into play down here lower, just like the oscillator's pushing low. But we are starting to see something here. I want you guys to notice right here, this volume matrix is starting to turn green. This volume matrix turning green and pushing to the upside could indicate a reversal. So that's why I'm thinking that it won't go too far. I'm thinking 56.3. We're currently sitting at about 58. So it's about $2,000 down. This would be time for the matrix to really heat up, getting into a little more. You can see back here as it started to heat up. That's when we got this pullback and up. That's exactly what I'm looking for here. Pull back and up as this heats up here, okay? Another point that I am going to watch here, I want to see the money flow. Let's go into money mode. And here is our money flow on money mode, guys. Right now, it is sitting in the red, okay? Money flow is going out, so money is leaving right now, but you can see it's starting to curve and level. I do think that about the time that we're hitting down there in that 0.618, that this money flow is going to be coming to the upside, lining up perfectly with what I was just talking about on the volume matrix, and that money flow with the volume at the same time here and here is going to give us right there at that perfect support for an upside movement there. I'm going to be watching that closely on Bitcoin. Let's jump over and take a look at OC's chart, see what he's seeing, and we'll find some confluence. Somewhere in between our TA is a good trade. I guarantee it. So let's go, OC.
Absolutely. Oh, for some reason it's not shared, but oh yeah, because we just reconnect. Sorry about that. Let me fix that. All right, share my screen. Sorry about that. All right. So really quick, guys, just so you guys are well informed of what I'm doing, and this is something that might happen. My strategy is telling me to enter into a long position in here as we go back for support. Remember that we were talking about the last time that we were here that it was not about the breakout, it was about the retest. And if you missed that retest, that was okay. The only thing that I was expecting or looking for is a possible long position after the breakout of this trend line. So what we had a breakout and then it moved up, right? But I mean, the continuation of the move up is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the retest or pullback, right? So that exactly is what just happened. I'm barely in profits. And I also want you guys to look at my risk reward ratio. It is horrible. Nonetheless, and I want to explain a little bit in here, it is my strategy. So first of all, I need to understand where are my support and resistances, and we can see that my support and resistance is right there, almost at my entry, right? A little bit slide below my entry point here at 57, and also we have another big area of support right down here at 56, and also we have a area of liquidity area right down here, right? So if I turn on my entry point, you see that I went back to my entry line very close there, and at the bounce, I kind of close, I did open up a position. What could happen here is that it reverses on me, and that's exactly what I was mentioning you guys, that my stop loss, it is below my risk, my support here, to prevent for this stopping me at the very first move. And also look at my risk reward ratio, it's horrible. It's up, if it is below one of the things that I do is that if my strategy is strongly telling me you should be taking a long position, and my risk reward, it is not coexisting with what I want to see, it is that I divide my risk by effectively cutting into my entry position. Basically, I always enter with a 3% entry of my wallet. In this case, because my risk reward is below 1, I'm going to be grabbing that 3% and then dividing it in half. That makes for a 1.5% of my whole wallet. All right, so that 1.5%, it is this entry. I still have another 1.5% that I will absolutely allocate. Where am I going to be allocating it? At the next big resistance. So right here, I'm going to be allocating, or I already allocated, my other 1.5%. So what's going to happen if the price comes back down? Well, then I'm going to be averaging down my position. Let me just clean this up a little bit, therefore giving me a better risk reward position. If it just reverses and keeps going up, I'm still going to be earning some money, but it's not going to be, I mean, the full amount. That is fine. That is completely fine, because remember, that is a risky entry. So let me really quick show you what's going to happen if that entry plays out. If I go in here with another 3%, my average entry is going to be right here, because remember, I'm not opening a different position. I am adding whatever I left out in a better position to fix my risk reward ratio. And in that point, I'll be looking at 1.65%. What's going to happen if I come back here? Most likely I'm going to bounce. If I bounce, what do you think I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be moving my stop to entry and taking some profits. And if you realize that maybe we are making another trend line here, and we could be absolutely just breaking down and moving farther down, well, then I still have this buffering area, not only to get out of my losing position, but also get out at some big profits, or at least slight profits, right? And then looking at this possible zone for what a continuation or reverse into my long to a short, or a continuation to the downtrend that we could be forming. Is for sure? No, but I need to prevent and prepare for my worst case scenario. In my worst case scenario, it is a continuation to the downside. So as you guys can see, I did divided my single entry in two to make the most out of it. So other than that, turning it back to you, Piper. Also, if you have any criticism or feedback, I would love to hear it.
No, I think that was good. I think you're spot on with a lot of that. I'm just looking here at gold and the Dixie. I want to talk about those real fast, because they are kind of giving me some indication of what could be going on with the markets. And then plus, I'm going to look at the 2-year Treasury bond, because we know that's where money likes to flow to right now, getting a little bit of sell-off on gold. Risk on looks like the name of the game today. I'm sitting here looking at CNBC. I have CNBC over here, guys. I'm watching this every morning on CNBC Pro. And I'm looking at right now the Russell 2000. It's up. The 10-year yield dropping down. The Dow is up. The S&P is up. Nasdaq is up all this morning. So I do think we're going to see some risk on coming into the crypto side throughout the day. I believe that a lot of people believe that we're going to have some bullish news and bullish statements, or at least dovish statements that come out this week from the Federal Reserve and the Jackson Hole Symposium. So maybe with that, that's what they're speculating right now, and we're seeing a lot of that coming into the market. But let's go over and check the Dixie right now. You guys, or actually check gold. You guys can see gold pretty much did a perfect little breakthrough here on the zero line. This was the previous high right here, and that previous high has led to a breakout there. Oh, sir, that's silver. We had a breakout there, and then right here we can see that we had a retest come back in. This right there, that's the retest that I'm talking about. We did get that coming back down and testing that zero line. So there's the OC retest for more side. I do believe that this little move that it did here, where it has come up, made a daily high, rejected back down. I do think that we are going to see this now start to make a move to the upside. Just watch right here, guys. We do have, you can see 2507, nice psychological number there. And that's also going to be that purple line running across there. That is the daily close. So there could be a little bit of resistance there, but it looks like at this point that we have broken the previous high, retested that as support, and looking for gold to make another move to the upside. Of course, this is the hedging against what's going on with the economic threat of, are we heading towards a recession? I think some people are just hedging some of their money into gold over there on the smart money side, and that's what we're seeing there, because it's definitely not going into the Dixie, guys. You can see this here. The Dixie is continuing a downward trend. It has lost all of its moving averages here, far below the dynamic reactor here on Chart Prime, and it is continuing to head down. Now, we are starting to get a little uptrend here, just like on the Oscillator Pro, we had it back here, and that's what led into a pullback up here. But, guys, that would just be another lower low, and if we come in and make another lower high, we could expect another lower low to come in after that. So looking at that right now, I am watching closely, but as of today, it is showing that we are heading for more downside on the Dixie here. And then lastly, let's go take a look at that 2-year Treasury bond, because that is where money tends to go to. If it's not gold and it's not the Dixie, it tends to go into the Treasury bonds. That is something that I am seeing here. Where is my 2-year? Right there it is. So if we take a look here, the 10-year is going into the negative, guys, in the 1 month and the 3 months. So we're getting short-term Treasury bonds today are going into the negative. This means that people are buying these up. That means that's why the rate comes down. So if the demand for them is high, the rate comes down. They don't need to entice you with a good interest rate to get you to buy the bonds. So when they're coming down red like this on the 3 month, red on the 1 month, and then red on the 10-year, that means that people are buying those up. Right now, they're selling that 2-year. So it looks like some people that think that they have a better chance. If you guys remember, 2-year was going in the red, really hard in the red last couple of weeks. Now they're starting to go back into the green. I think some people might be going, you know what? I may have jumped too soon, may have gotten a little knee-jerk reaction there, bought these bonds up. Let me go ahead and sell these. Not worry about this 4.35% that I can get from this. Let me move over back into the stock market. It looks like the stock market has more to offer, and therefore we can assume, we can speculate, because that's what this market is, right? Speculation. We can speculate that if this is the case going on with the stock market, that we could very likely see this money start to flow into crypto, and that's what I'm going to be watching for closely, OC. So we are at the top of the hour. It's time to get into some altcoins and some stocks. So guys in the chat, if you guys have anything that you'd like to see on the charts today, let us do that. And then but OC first, you and I, let's jump over and let's take a look at this article here, because I wanted to talk about this. A couple of these articles I'm going to touch on, a quick summary, and then we're going to come back, talk about it, and jump into the altcoins. We should have a list from the people there by then. So news, there we go. And I need to get rid of the 3-man here, because we are not on a 3-man. We're on a 2-man. Let me just do that. There we go. We'll stay up here on top for a minute here, OC. Did not have this set up this morning at all. I was busy looking for data. S&P 500, guys. Futures are up after risk-on mode leads stocks to the best week of 2024. Quick summary on this. Futures on the S&P gained new strength Monday morning after a string of economic data releases over the past week help investors find their confidence. Risk-on mode last week boosted the broad-based index to its best week of 2024 with a 3.9% increase. If it didn't go it alone, the 30-stock Dow Jones Industrial Average and the tech-dense NASDAQ Composite have joined that rally with 2.9 and 5.3% in weekly pops. So that's what I was just talking about. I just showed you the data of how it's happened in real time there. Look at these futures a lot of times, guys. If you want to know how the week's looking, Sunday night when the futures open up, take a look at those. And that is one of the things that I always do. Every Sunday night, I'm looking at those futures, see how the markets are feeling about the week ahead. So, at what price are BTC miners out of profit? I think it's around $43,000, Clayt. I know for a fact someone in the chat here knows better. Eric Wallen, let me know, or Crux. But yeah, I think it's around 43,000 something. So, looking here, guys, at Ethereum, that price wobbles as inflation sees 210,000 Ethereum added to the circulation. Recent market dynamics have again brought up Ethereum supply into the spotlight, reiterated concerns about its inflationary trend. Earlier this year, it reached a significant milestone in its circulated supply, surpassing 120 million Ethereum, and that number continues to grow. Now, this was supposed to be a thing where they burned off and we were supposed to have deflationary moments, okay? We're not seeing that right now, and that is one of the things that gives me cause for concern, because what does this mean for Ethereum? Its inflationary mechanism is mostly counteracted by burning tokens. This burn mechanism was introduced as part of the London hard fork in order to introduce a deflationary mechanism to Ethereum, right? It aims to reduce the overall supply because there's fees that they burn off every time that there is a new transaction. So new transactions burn off Ethereum. However, data from Ultrasound Money shows the burns are currently lagging behind issuance, and Ethereum is now on an inflationary trajectory. Particularly 2028 ETH were burned in the past 7 days compared to 18,000 Ethereum that were issued in the same time frame. Such a sustained uptrend and supply growth could cause downward pressure on the price of ETH, and in the case of a decline in demand. Now, last piece I want to touch on this because I'm obviously going into Ethereum TA. Can Ethereum reach over $3,000 in September? Analysts are betting on 80% odds, okay? So this is according to Coin Checkup, a popular crypto market prediction platform. ETH could rise by 51% in the next 3 months. With such a positive forecast, the current decline in the price of Ethereum could very well be a short-term hiccup against the looming rally. Let's jump over here, talk about this for a second, because we are seeing that the lessening demand for Ethereum right now is causing them to get a much higher token count in circulation than what the burn off is capable of leveling out for them. And I'm sitting on quite a bit of Ethereum. Now, I do agree. I do think that Ethereum could see $3,000 in the next 3 months. This is exactly in line with what we have discussed here on Piper Academy, on the Morning Market Show, and on the Crypto Nightcap with FD White and TradeFly. If you guys don't catch that, you need to watch it also. It is a really good, informative show. We have talked about August, September. It's going to be red. We said this the whole time to you guys. But we're looking at October, November with an average 80 to 90% rally historically in crypto. That's what we have seen on Bitcoin in the 4-year cycle for October's and November's combined, right? Sure, it said Ethereum could rise by 51% in the next 3 months. I absolutely agree with that. I think everything is going to have the potential in the next 3 months to pump up. But if Ethereum is only 51% and it has performed, as it has performed, then is it likely that we see, something like Solana, something like Injective, something like ICP, something like Caspa that does a parabolic 70, 80, 90, 100% in that 3-month period in comparison to Ethereum? Ethereum to 51. I'm not saying I'm going to sell all of my Ethereum, but I am definitely on the fence about offloading some of my Ethereum, maybe 1/3 of it, into some more other assets that could greatly outperform the potential for Ethereum over the next 90 days. So I'd love to know what you guys think in the chat. OC, what's your thoughts on that? And then let's jump into the alt TA.
Well, I think that you are completely right. I mean, I have been a little bit bullish on this upcoming month. I still believe that we're gonna have one last pump, and that will be kind of like at the beginning of the month. But mainly, and I'm hopeful because I have said this before. This is only mostly my wish, but not what. But I'm willing to change it, or my perspective willing to change it as we go inside this month and look at a little bit more data. But what I do see is a possible run up to the upside, as you mentioned at the beginning, that the pump might not be just over, but all of the bearish scenarios start accumulating, and we can also start seeing that on the prophecy daily of chart prime, right? I mean, where we start getting, warning, 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 and then we might be getting that reverse. One of the things, as you were mentioning, is the SPX. The S&P 500 futures, and remember, this is my speculation area, and that was a bouncing area right at where we could have that neon line, which is our prime range in here. So sorry, our prime trend assistant. So something that has happened is that it is right at the threshold area that I was expecting for a pullback. But also look at, we have a market dumps, and we have a little bit of a reversal signal right down here. If I start turning on my support and resistances, we'll see that we have a little bit of a big gap between those two, right? So I would say that we still can do that retracement, but maybe not as big as I was expecting. Basically, just going like that, a little bit more into between those two support and resistances, and then confirming the next support that we could be having. So let me just remove this, and we're going to be looking at this prime trend assistance that we have going on here, and that's going to be our next support. Something that is looking like is that we also could be making a goose getting here, but at this point, since we have market prophecy dumps, I would not be counting as a big pull up now, but as a maybe a little bit range and retracement. If that happens, we could be forming an inverse head and shoulder here that could be taking us for what we might be expecting, breaking off the previous highs, and for a fake out, right? And then macro indicators taking in, and maybe a retest on the next dynamic reactor. So that's what I'm expecting. Maybe early pump, and then middle or mid-month dump. So just be careful there. Just giving you a little bit of a timestamp to look at, or to look after. But right now macro signals are not looking great, but still we are moving possibly into the market. So other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into Ethereum. But first, guys, when Daihatsu, that's the question today. Daihatsu picks up 5 times more women than a Lamborghini. So that's what you got to ask now. When Daihatsu, that way you have something realistic to purchase with your crypto, and you can go look. I made enough money on my Pepe meme coin from buying it with my pocket change out of my couch to get me a Daihatsu, which picks up 5 times more women than a Lamborghini. So there you go. Let's jump into the chart now, guys. And let's take a look at Ethereum here, what I'm seeing on here. And then we'll start looking at that list. You got that list put together there, and I saw it in the chat there. I saw some stocks too, so I appreciate you, OC, that you got all those together. Let's jump into Ethereum and take a look here. We did break out of that pattern that we were talking about last week, and we had there was a nice little level down here that really, if you guys take a look from this point up here, we had a breakout of the pattern up here on Ethereum that the Market Dynamics Pro from Chart Prime picked up. It gave you the little indicator, and that was its signal right there. So I do believe that Ethereum is pretty much right now in its range of its bottom. But if Bitcoin goes down, guys, I've talked about this numerous times, and I do think that if we turn this on, you'll see the 236 is coming in down here, especially if we put this on the daily. The 236 fib is coming in right in line by the time that this gets a good pullback with Bitcoin. Oh, nope, sir. Thank you. By the time this gets a good pullback with Bitcoin to come down and hit this 236 at about $2,000, good psychological number there. One, two, it would run into line with this trend line here. And you can see on the daily that we had another breakout here. The measurement here, guys, is calling for 1450. I don't think we get there. Let's go in and see what the actual algorithm is calling for here, because that's on a measured move. And I think that we will get a much better look at this being on a smart target using the AI that's built in there to do the algorithm here. Let's see what that comes in at. That came in that this break on the daily has already played out also. Guys, coming up here and rejecting on the 382, I've got to assume that we're going to come down to the 236. And if we're going to do that, we might as well come down and hit this trend line. I know it seems very bearish in comparison to what I'm seeing on the charts right now. There's a lot of things on the charts that tell me otherwise. But this trend line comes all the way back in history, back to 2020, August 2020, all the way back to here. This has been a major support line, and we're coming into close proximity on it. So I don't see why we wouldn't get a test on that if we're that close to it, because people want to test how strong is this. Let me get rid of all those brush marks, bring this in, and I will show you a little bit of bullish hopium here that I'm seeing on the charts. First of all, we did get the power bar here. The bearish power bar did tweak out right there, saying, hey, bottom, right? What that means, right? That is giving a reversal indication of that bearish trend coming in there. We do have money flow that is starting to come up to the upside here. Money flow's on its way up. The oscillator's on its way up. And we did get that true 7 trigger that happened right here. All of this stuff is saying bottom. I'm tracking that. But I do think that Bitcoin has a potential to pull down Ethereum to this 236 from that drop where it's at right now, guys. I'm going to have to go with this. It'd be a 22% drop, and that would be harsh. But that's what I'm watching. It's a Hail Mary. I've got entries in down here at 2,000. I've got some entries all the way down as low as 1,800 now. I got rid of my 1,500. I think 1,800 could be seen over August, September. In the meantime, we could get a little pump off of what I'm seeing on the oscillators. They are saying more upside movement right now. But sometimes you got to go with your gut, and sometimes you have to listen to your wife, who will tell you you can't negotiate with the charts. Right now, I'm thinking downside, but the charts are definitely telling me upside is inbound. So let's jump over to OC and see what he's taking a look.
Absolutely. We have football TV. So a crazy run up, right? At first I was like, hey, what is going on here? They're zooming out a little bit. Well, then I saw this little pumping here. And also, of course, I mean, it dwarfed whatever is happening here. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. This is a crazy run, especially on stocks. And I was like, what is going on here? So this needs to be news driven, and absolutely was. Football wins a sport injunction on August 16th, 2 days ago on 2024. A U.S. District Court judge granted Fubo's request for a preliminary injunction blocking the launch of Venus Sport, a joint venture between Disney, Fox, and Warner Bros. Discovery. So that is a big news. Also, we can see Fubo Sports Networks on Prime Video channels in Canada, also on August 16, 2024. So it looks like Fubo is doing great, but here's the caveat: it is already moving. We already have this little check mark here, which usually indicates taking profit suggested, and we're having a retracement. Are we going to keep looking at this pumping up? I would say that yes, this might not be long lasting as much as we could be expecting, because this is speculation. And that is because it is how well with Fubo Sports will do now that we are part of, or they can be launched on Prime Video, and also what had happened between Disney, Fox, Warner Bros., and Fubo, right? So what I'm expecting here, it is a classic pump and dump, but do not dump below the previous resistance area. And let me fix that line in here very quick, and basically hover over this zone in here before we start trickling up, and then whatever they launch will determine whether we bump or make a crazy movement, or we retrace to stable price areas in here. So let's see my indicators just to make sure that everything is it's kind of like a making sense in here. And I'm not just talking out of the blue. As you can see, we are running into a huge resistance in here. And as soon as we are touching that resistance, well then guess what? That check mark was correct, and we are starting to pull down. Well, what happens if we close below? And then we start reversing on our oscillator. We also need to look at the true 7 and also the money flow. At this point, everything is pointing for a further move to the upside, so maybe 1 or 2 candles more before we start seeing that reversal. So before I claim that reversal it's in, I need first to look at initially our money flow and then what's happening with my ribbon right up here. But so far, we are having already early signs of reversal here, early signs of reversal, and a huge resistance. Is this a great area to start jumping in? I would say maybe not, but this is not financial advice. And as I always said, if you want to win the lottery ticket, you need to get the lottery ticket at first place, right? So if you think that this is going to keep pumping up, well, then having a little bit of exposure to it might be good for your wallet. But once again, look at how he's now kind of like fighting that area, basically just trying to close below. So just be careful if you're planning to jump in, and you can limit the amount of you can limit the amount of shares that you may want to get exposure here. Well, then for the future might be good. If not, I will be waiting just for a breakout retest or a breakout retest and jumping in back in here as we reverse and then grab a little bit more momentum, or after we go back down, hit some support areas, and we do not lose this aligning here, which is the previous ranging top, which is at 160 at Fubo TV. That's what I got, Piper. Let me throw it back to you.
Awesome. Let's jump over here and take a look at what I'm seeing on Chainlink right now, guys. We had a request for this, and then I got MicroStrategies coming up. OC, that wasn't on the list, but it was in the chat, so I think I'm going to grab that too here. Looking here at Link, guys, we have these trade channels, and I talk about this a lot. If you're new here, this is important. If you've been here before, it's just a reiteration of what I've always said. We like to trade in ranges on Chainlink, especially if you go back here and look, and this is on a daily chart for May 2022 to about October 2023. So about a year and 4 months, we just traded right here in a range that you could have just scalped top and bottom. I want to show you guys what just happened here and why I think that we're actually going to go lower. Excuse me. Right here, we did hit this bottom, okay? This is the top of this previous range over here, and that is where we came down and we wicked to. I think we're going to go a little bit lower for 2 reasons. One, excuse me, I am so sorry. One, I think that we're going to come into this bottom range because we tested this and we have rejected off of this previous box of support that I said this is the area to watch. It is now resistance, and this is where we are rejecting off of right now. You can see it there. Let me get rid of that, bring it in. There you go. Perfectly off of the bottom of this range, guys. Getting the rejection right there. What is that coming from? That's coming from our fibs. Let's throw those on. You'll see that sitting right here is the platinum pocket. I think we're going to lose that platinum pocket and come down to this 1-to-1 line. Okay. Some other reasons for that I want to watch here is, let me get rid of all of this again. There we go. If we go in and we start turning on some indicators here, we have the Market Dynamics Pro here. We have a breakout right there. The breakout is bringing us into range down here inside of that former trade box. Okay. So there's one. Another reason for that is because if I come in and I look at, oh, I know what it was. Let me come over here and grab the head and shoulders, because we had a little head and shoulders action here. There we go. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. That's the way this goes. There it is, head and shoulders. We had this head and shoulders pattern here, okay? We got a head. We got a shoulder, we got a head here. Comes in for another shoulder, comes up. Actually, it goes down, but that's okay. Down to here. There we go. There's our head and shoulders. If we measure this off here, this ugly head and shoulders here, and we bring this in also for a breakdown on this, guys, it's coming in right here about the 50% line of this range, which is going to be really close to what we just saw with the called out targets. And you can see historically, this 50% line is a good average median for this entire range. I swear, I think that we're heading that going to be coming in at about $6.85 on Chainlink. But that's going to be, of course, like I said, this is daily. We're looking at this over the next month and a half. I do think that there's a sucker's rally coming sometime in here before we have another pullback. And that is where you're going to see people really get wrecked. But right now, I do think that we are going to be heading down a little bit lower here on this breakdown. So, OC, let's go over to you real fast and I'll come back and do micro strategies.
Absolutely. I have Solana, Soul Train, Trade So Trade if you're here, brother, I already see you. Shout out to you, my friend. So taking just your Solana for today. Hopefully you can do another nightcap for it. So let's take a look at what's happening here. The first thing I want to do is just clear everything up because of my spaghetti. Why not? Let's just have a clear view of picture of what's happening. We have a beautiful breakout then, as well as I was expecting. If I turned on my drawings, I was expecting at this area of supporting here, right? A bounce. So we had that bounce all the way up to the same area of resistance. It just happened so quickly. So basically we are on tracking here and now we're trickling down. Something that has been happening is if we take a look at these 3 points, we already have make a technical breakout, right? So breakout, retest, and maybe off we go. So guys, let's not lose the tracking here. We are below the dynamic reactor, right? Our prime score is 1. Our consolidation score it's 8. So we are getting ready to break, but our prophecy is dump. All right, we're still on dump. So we are bearish, right? The only thing that might be going against that bearishness, it is 2 things. 1, the breakout of this trend line, and the next one, it is the amount of support or where we are right now. All right, yeah, look at that, 3 lines of support. Not only that, huge amount of volume here. So, and I mean, we need to take a look at first, and we'll see that. Give me just 1 second. Our oscillator. Let me just clear this up on the oscillator so we can look at. And the oscillator says that we are above the 0 line and we could be having that bounce. So if I have the bounce off the 0 line, well, then that's going to be a great opportunity to start looking for a long. If not, I just let it run. But once again, we could be making either a pump, breaking through the dynamic reactor, or a dump going back into the 128. So how or what's going to be defining that? Basically, OC, come on, don't tell me that it can move up or down. But the thing is that we need to look at that ribbon and wait for the confirmation. One more thing, if you have plus, if you're thinking about getting plus, is that we have the true 7 and also the money flow. I want to start seeing money flow start pushing upwards here. Is it green? Yes, it is green. And something important also that is happening, it is that we just max out in here. Basically, we are calling it for, let's just see what happens previous times that we are maxing out. So we max out here. What happened? We kind of like went back down, right? We max out here. What happened? Kind of like went down. So we max out. We already are moving downwards and we're losing that kind of like a downwards momentum. Another important thing, it is the volume rising up in here. So volume wise and ribbon wise, we are okay. And we could start looking at possible long as we have money flow turning back up and ribbon bouncing off the 0 line. So far is not the time. I will be giving it a little bit more, and of course I'll be setting up an alert right down here and also another alert right up here, just to warn me whatever might be happening in the upcoming hours. Most likely we're gonna have an answer within the next 4 to 8 hours to a possible long into the 4-hour charts. So other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Hey, shout out to username in the chat. Hey, bro, Link, I will be buying up a ton of Link down there. Link is one of my big bags. So if we do go down to that level, trust me, I will be buying some link. Shout out to everybody in the chat that has been joining us. Shout out to Alex O. I saw him in here. His show is done. He used to do his live trading in his Discord. He started doing a show, and now we're like all stepping on each other's toes. We got to figure something out, man. But much love to you. Let's jump over here and let's take a look at what I'm seeing on MicroStrategies. Don't start messing with me again. This thing is all up moving my stuff again. I swear I'm gonna have to figure something out. I think it's a connection on my extended desktop. I have an extended desktop on an iPad, and I think that it kicks off. The cable does. I may just need to get a new cord. That may be the fix. OC, your chart graphics are a lot sharper. Looks good. Thank you. Baba Yaz, giving you a shout out there. Let's jump over and check out MicroStrategies, guys, and see how we're looking here. We do have we had a breakout here. The breakout was the bottom of this target right here above the 382. I'm looking at this on the daily, of course, or 4 hours, I mean. And so on the 4 hour, this played out, market closed. The next time that it opened on Monday, we had this huge sell-off. We went down, wicked perfectly to the golden pocket, and then bounced back up, okay? I said that when we got up here, I was like, look, we were sitting here, and I said, I believe, and this is the path that I drew, is this white one that's on here. I said, I believe we're going to bounce down, test the 50. If we can get support on the 50, we should be able to bounce up and continue to the upside on MicroStrategies, shaking out of this little fear session that we had back on the 5th of August there, Monday morning when the markets opened. Everything went to crap, right? Is that what it is, Alex, though? Good to know. Blame the baby. So I am watching here right now where this is in this accumulation sideways here between the 382 and 50 here. I do think that we are going to get an upside movement, but right now it's kind of doing what Bitcoin's doing, guys. Ranging sideways, not doing much at all. I think once Bitcoin starts to get a little bit of moves, we do have the 50 here in the golden pocket, which we've proven time and time again, very, very solid levels of buy-in and dollar cost averaging, good support. I think that once we get that, it will be a move to MicroStrategies to the upside. Don't forget, MicroStrategies was just in the news recently because they are now part of, I think it might be in here, South Korean pension funds invest heavily in MicroStrategy and Coinbase. So a bunch of pension money did go into here. So I don't know that we're going to have as much of a pullback on here as what we could see on the crypto markets. But right now I am watching that we are going green on the True 7, on the oscillator, on the volume, and on money flow. Everything looking positive here. I think right here, anytime that we hit this 50 in this golden pocket, this is a, like a 1-to-1 buy-in, and this would be a 2-to-1 where we double up that DCA into MicroStrategies. Of course, I'm in MSTX right now. I still have MicroStrategies, but I went heavily into MSTX also, and it's just kind of going sideways too. So tight sideways motion is good on Bitcoin. It is absolutely, and it tends to move a lot of altcoins to the upside. So if you guys don't know what the MSTX is, shout out to Eric Wallens. I saw that it was being that it got approved. Did not actually see it was launched yet, and then he's the one that said, "Hey, it's here. It's MicroStrategies 1.75x leverage to stock leverage stock trade." And so I put a little bit of money over there, but not nearly as much because it's a little bit riskier than just buying MicroStrategies. Not nowhere near as much as that, but I did put a little bit over there to play with. So MSTX, MSTR, both bullish on both of those. I think they're going to do quite well. OC, we are at the bottom of the hour, a little bit past it right now. I know that Randy is over there on her show. I can look at her. She's right here on my phone. I'm watching her. She's sitting here right now on the phone saying, hey, you guys are not here at the frat house partying with us, so we need to get over there. But do you have anything for the people on the way out, my man?
Yes, guys, thanks so much for joining today. I just want to thank you guys so much also for the engagement. Please share and like this video. It really helps us out. And also spread the love, spread the TA, and stay positive. Today is Monday, and we have a great week up ahead, so make the most out of it.
Absolutely. And if you guys are watching on X right now, you guys need to click the link, come over and check us out on YouTube also, and subscribe over here. But we appreciate you guys watching us no matter where you catch the morning market report, because we want you guys to have knowledge, because we do believe Knowledge is profit. So, guys, we'll catch you here tomorrow morning, right back here on Piper Academy for the Morning Market Report. Don't forget to catch FDY and TradeFly tonight on the nightcap, wrapping out the day and telling you what you can expect for tomorrow morning. Guys, until then, as always, keep your charts ready, keep them primed, trade safe, and as always, use a stop loss. Later.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude!